from the International Trade Fair in Ndola. Dola. Broadcasting live from the International Trade Fair in Ndola. Trade Fair in Ndola. This is Phoenix FM. Phoenix FM.
It's Phoenix FM, only the best is good enough. Still broadcasting to you from the 58th Zambia International Trade Fair. Joining us in the studio for this session is our friends from the Securities and Exchange Commission. We have Miss Madam Dingasen Kuwe Nakumba, who's the Manager, Market Development. We also have Mr. Mwanga Kondolo, who's the Manager, Financial Inclusion. Good morning and welcome to the program. It's a pleasure to have you with us in the studio.
Good morning, Amani. Pleasure to be here with you.
Yes. So we're just going to get into a brief understanding of what the Securities and Exchange Commission is. Can you give us an overview of the SEC's participation in this year's trade fair and how it aligns with the theme Unlocking Economic Potential Through Collaboration and Partnerships?
Thank you, Onani. The Securities and Exchange Commission, which is SEC in short, is the regulator of capital markets in Zambia, and we're very excited to be at the trade fair. It gives me a good opportunity to just, give an overview of what the SEC does. As regulator of capital markets, we ensure there's supervision and also the growth in the capital markets. So everything we do is to ensure that we are securing the interests of investors in the capital markets. So on the one hand, we have the issuers who are going to want to do capital raising activities in the market, because the market provides that platform for capital raising, as the capital markets, the name itself seems to suggest. And on the other hand, we have investors who are our savers, or who have the money that needs to be invested by the issuers who need the money. And so the market provides that platform, a conducive environment for them to raise that kind of funding, moving it from the savers where it is in excess to the issuers where it is needed to go into productive activities in the economy. And so this brings me to the theme, and it's a very opportune theme, very exciting theme, which is suggesting the unlocking of the potential in the economy through partnerships and collaborations. So this is very, very in line with what we are doing at the moment. In fact, it is in line with the agenda that we are running with developing capital markets through the Capital Markets Master Plan, which my colleague will speak to in detail. We are actually working towards making the capital markets contribute meaningfully to the economy through unlocking potential, the potential that it has to raise the much needed funding for various developments in the economy. Right now, we are actually running with an energy crisis in the country, and we are also running with an agenda to reposition the capital markets so that they become the preferred destination for investments. And we know that Zambia has got serious potential to look to alternatives within the various challenges that we are facing, be it the challenge for money or capital. We know that there are sectors that need to be funded. For example, the energy sector. So we also know we have the natural resources that just need to be tapped or packaged in a way that they offer those alternatives. And the capital markets are seriously positioned to contribute to sustainable financing methods. And the Securities and Exchange Commission actually has provisions or regulations and guidelines and frameworks which facilitate that raising of funding. So we are coming with the contribution that we have the solutions as part of what are known as the nature-based solutions. We also bring the platforms where those who have the solutions can actually now raise the funds to fund. Funding is very important to anyone and every project. So we are inviting everyone to come to our stand and just interact with us and see which guideline or which framework they can use to suit their needs.
Thank you so much for that. What are some of the key initiatives the SEC is currently working on to foster collaboration and partnerships within the financial sector?
Okay, thank you once again. And I think that's a very important question. I think I'll begin by stating that we do have a broad plan that we are currently implementing. That is the Capital Markets Master Plan. So it's basically the primary roadmap for capital markets development. It was launched sometime last year by the Republican president. So the Capital Markets Master Plan is a long-term strategy for capital markets development in Zambia. As you may know, our capital markets have been nascent for a very long time, since the introduction in 1993. And there is an emergent need to develop those markets so that the capital markets can be repositioned and perform their function efficiently. The function of obviously mobilizing the long-term capital that is required for the real sectors, productive sectors, and so on. So I think that because the Capital Markets Master Plan is anchored by government under the stewardship of the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, it is also a cross-cutting document. What does that mean? That entails that it's not only a SEC document, it's a government document being spearheaded by the ministry and SEC in collaboration with various stakeholders. This involves both state actors and non-state actors. So you will see that there is a lot of collaboration and partnership that is required for the Capital Markets Master Plan implementation to be successful. So we do have institutions like Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, who we are currently working on various projects under the Green Finance Mainstreaming Working Group, which is basically trying to devise suitable products which can contribute towards greening the economy and having sustainable outcomes for the country. We have key institutions also like the Zambia Development Agency, who are also critical in positioning our country as a preferred destination for investments. We have also have been working closely with the private sector through the various body institutions such as the Capital Markets Association of Zambia, the Bankers Association of Zambia, in implementing the various strategies that we have. We anticipate that some of the identified development areas that will address the weaknesses in the capital markets will be addressed by these key stakeholders collaboratively.
Okay. How does the SEC support new businesses and startups in Zambia in accessing capital markets, and what role do partnerships play in the process?
Thank you. So I think as part of our efforts towards capital markets development, a key area is to have financing solutions that are tailored to SMEs. So in providing a conducive environment, we do issue guidelines for such purposes. And speaking to SMEs, we have launched recently the Sandbox Regulatory Framework, which is basically trying to provide a framework under which alternative or new and innovative products that suit SMEs can be deployed and enable SMEs to raise capital. Some of these products include crowdfunding, peer-to-peer lending, and we've seen that these products, once launched, can facilitate for broader participation. So far, the 4 firms under the Sandbox have been able to pool collectively about $6.6 million. So we see that going forward, this framework can be better utilized for that purpose. And we are also currently on looking at mechanisms upon which we can adjust the listing rules, for instance, to enable SMEs participate in a less stringent manner.
Okay. Can you share any recent success stories where collaboration between the SEC and other entities has led to significant economic growth and or development?
I think before I go on to that point, I would like to also mention that we support SMEs through what is initiative towards capacity building. We have recognized the fact that everybody needs to understand and to also be able to take up products in the capital markets. And so where we see a deficit or a knowledge gap, we we try and to facilitate that there's some kind of capacity building, some training or master classes that we develop. For example, when we saw that alternative finance was coming on into different markets, Zambia inclusive, we facilitated master classes where we told ourselves that we needed to understand what this alternative finance is all about. And these include things like crowdfunding, peer-to-peer lending. And even before we had the regulations, we knew that we just had to also get into these innovative products that are coming up and seemingly suitable for SMEs, because we know that they take them up easier than those other products that require onerous compliance or onerous requirements that they need to sign up for, which they may not actually understand. But we, as a regulator, we also need to ensure that these products, first coming, are also safe for everyone to invest in. They're not coming as fraudulent products, for example, or are not going to offer terms that are going to disadvantage the SME with their need for capital. So we offer some master classes. We encourage learning through the capital market operators or through the different stakeholders across the markets, including holding seminars for our SMEs. We also have a platform known as the Alternative Market, for which is a market or a board on the Lusaka Securities Exchange that is targeted at small and medium enterprises. These have to be those that are actually in the growth area, but we know that companies do need access to capital that is easy or suitable for them, that is going to have to be over the long term and not short term like the loans would do. Those loans would actually be choking to businesses, but the capital market offers easier terms to deal with, so very suitable for SMEs. So to do that, the Securities and Exchange Commission cannot work in isolation. It will work with partners. The market itself, for example, the Lusaka Securities Exchange, which is the market, has to also develop listing rules that are required or are suitable for such a tier in the market. So they will be less stringent than the main board. While the SEC develops the framework, there has to be others who partner and collaborate along this vision to ensure that we bring on board the SMEs. We also have to ensure that the brokers also are aligned to what they would need, the SMEs would need. So there's a lot of partnership and collaboration as we do these things. And also sometimes you also find that there's need for technical advice, whereby you handhold the SME as they bring their issuances to the market. So all these have been some of the collaborations and partnerships that around capacity building that we have undertaken to do. Yes, and I think you just asked for
examples of some success stories that have some success.
Okay, yes. As I was alluded to earlier, we have developed the sandbox regulation and also a platform where SMEs who are not yet under the full regulation of the market can actually come and sort of do their businesses while without us as a regulator refusing them to do capital raising and other offer investment products to the market, because that is what the SEC ordinarily would do, or in a traditional way would be doing. When a player is not regulated, we would deem it as not fit for the market. So instead of like I said earlier, the part of our mandate is to ensure the growth of the market and ensure that there's appropriate products for everyone. So we've had to take to actually bring them on board in a way that we are not stifling the innovation that is taking place in the market. So those are some of the success stories. We've developed the sandbox regulations, and we even had the first cohort that took place, and there was a raising of $6.6 million in this sandbox altogether. The companies that actually participated in the sandbox together raised to the tune of $6.6 million. That is a great success we can bring in terms of the innovations and some of the collaborations that we have done with the market.
Also, I think just to add there, we have in the past successfully implemented 2 key strategies. The first one being the National Financial Inclusion Strategy and the National Strategy on Financial Education for Zambia. I think we are cognizant that the financial sector plays a critical role when it comes to unlocking the economic potential, because it is through that platform that money, capital, is mobilized and also provides opportunities for people to invest in productive sectors of the economy. And through that, we see that there's job creation, there's disposable income being created, and also savings being mobilized. So the financial inclusion strategy, for example, aims to promote the uptake of formal financial products and services, while we also know that it is important to have mechanisms for informal financial services such as your chilimbas, but we would like to see people graduate from those sort of financial groupings and being able to access formal financial products which can help them to meet their different financial objectives. We have done that with, again, state actors and non-state actors. And when you speak to the National Strategy on Financial Education, that has been a very good way of successfully undertaking educational programs which are foundational for the different target groups, such as the children, the youths and adults. So there also you see that we work very closely with key players, both local and international. Locally we work with the Ministry of Education. Internationally we do have partner implementers such as the Junior Achievement of Zambia and the Prudence Foundation, again, which is an international partner in spearheading some of the tailored educational programs which span across savings, investments, pensions and insurance. Yeah.
Strict regulatory oversight and transparent reporting requirements for listed companies and other players in the market. This is there to ensure that there's measures that ensure accurate and timely information, that there's no information asymmetry, for example. We take cognizance of the fact that investors may not know as much as what the issuer himself knows, or they may not have the correct skills to understand what products are there and how they work. So we try as much as possible to ensure that there's transparency and also publication of information that will help them make decisions as they are doing their investments. So these are coming through as requirements like quarterly reporting, and these should be audited reports, like the financial reports that the company has, and also that they undertake to hold annual general meetings that investors should attend, and also hear from management of the companies in which they're invested what they're doing, and get to actually vote on certain important aspects that in which their money has gone into as shareholders. Those are some of the requirements. Accurate reporting, timely information helps to build trust and confidence in the market.
So, if you're just joining us, this is Phoenix FM, only the best is good enough. We're still broadcasting to you from the Zambia International Trade Fair. With us in the studio from the Securities and Exchange Commission is Madam Dingasen Nkuwe Nakumba, who's the Manager, Market Development. Also with us in the studio is Mr. Mubanga Kondolo, who's the Manager, Financial Inclusion. Just as we wrap up today, any final remarks?
Okay, thank you once again for having us here. I think we would just like to encourage the showgoers to pass through our stand and see what we have in store in terms of the information we have on our mandate, and also how they can potentially benefit by the various literature and materials that we have, which will help them in contributing towards unlocking the economic potential of our country.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to have you in our studios. It's Phoenix FM, where only the best is good enough.
Live from the International Trade Fair in Ndola. Dola. Broadcasting live from the International Trade Fair in Ndola. Trade Fair in Ndola. This is Phoenix FM. Phoenix FM.